Alrighty, fellas, welcome back to another betting video. Today, it is Saturday, December 14th, as you are seeing this for Sunday's games in Week 15. We have some pretty juicy matchups. Obviously, I have some favored matchups that I really like that you'll see me kind of break down in this video. But for now, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's hop straight into these picks. We're going to take everything on Underdog Fantasy per usual. Make sure you use code BDGE when you sign up because you'll get up to a free $1,000 deposit match bonus. So make sure you take advantage. But starting on Underdog, obviously the main things we're going to go over here are not going to be the Houston-Miami game. I don't have any bets in the Houston-Miami game, but I do have some picks in the 1 o'clock slate. None of these games, our plays are kind of condensed today, but we do have Lamar Jackson, and I don't know if we're going to get it because it's not an adjusted line, but I will flash it on the screen. 26.5 pass attempts. We want to go under that mark. It feels like a great play. Obviously, the quarterbacks have thrown for the third fewest pass attempts versus the Giants this season. In wins this season, he's gone under this in 6 of 8 games. Obviously, this is supposed to be a blowout. So I kind of anticipate they're just going to run the ball with Derrick Henry damn near the entire game, which they should. This is one of those game scripts where it's going to be a sloppy game. The Giants aren't going to be able to run the ball at all, so they're going to have to pass. Tommy DeVito is going to have to do something. Tommy DeVito sucks and can't do anything. Going to be a ton of 3-and-outs. The Baltimore is just going to want to control the clock and get the fuck out of New York. So I seriously think it's just going to be a time of possession. This game's going to be over fast. Baltimore's going to run the clock out. There's no point in running the score up, so I think they're just going to keep it a pretty low-scoring game. And again, Lamar's gone under this in 6 of 8 wins this season, and it's been by a pretty drastic margin. We can go to props.cash to show you. When looking at pass attempts in wins this season, I mean, he's gone under this significantly. Like, it's not even – it really hasn't been close. That's the last 10. Here's the season. It hasn't really been close. The only close ones were maybe Washington, but against Cincinnati the only 2 wins where he's gone over this mark. And then obviously there was shootouts. This is by far not going to be a shootout. So I think we can expect an easy under here. There's not too much deep analysis I really need for this. Not many too nitty-gritty numbers I need for this. So I'm going to keep it pretty basic. It's going to be a blowout. I think Lamar Jackson easily goes under this line. Heading on to our next few plays, we're going to take a pit stop here in Dallas versus Carolina. Now, again, my Panthers, I know, bias, whatever you want to call it. I feel like I have a pretty good grip on what's going to happen in this game. And with that being said, I'm going to be taking not Bryce. Also, CeeDee Lamb, you could get a 5.5 receptions for some juice. If you don't mind juice, then you can take that. That's a really, really, really good shout. But I'm going to be taking Chuba Hubbard to go over 79.5 rushing yards. You can get this off Underdog Fantasy, but you can get this on Underdog Fantasy, but you can also get it here on ESPN Bet for a -135 value. It's where I got it at. Again, it's a little bit more juice, but you like him to get 80 yards in this one. Again, there's no Jonathan Brooks. There's no Miles Sanders. There's no running back competition in this backfield. He saw a 97.1% playtime percentage in Week 14 versus the Eagles. That's the second highest of any playtime percentage this entire season. He has the second highest playtime percentage so far this season, only behind Kyren Williams. He's clearly playing the most snaps possible. Jonathan Brooks now is out. He's going to keep running the ball, and now he goes against a Dallas defense that is very susceptible to big rushing days. You look at Chuba Hubbard over the course of the season. Obviously, he hasn't hit this in every game as they have been down in a lot of games. They've also had some tough matchups. But now they go against a Dallas defense that allows the 10th most rushing yards per game, the 10th most rushing attempts per game, the 2nd most rushing touchdowns per game. Not only that, but in wins this season, which the Panthers are projected to do this week, and I think they easily could pull it off, he's had over this line in almost every game. Again, obviously, Vegas had 114. Obviously, against the Giants, he absolutely crushed. And even the past 2 games, like you look at Philadelphia, 92 rushing yards against a very good defense. Obviously, that's without Jonathan Brooks. Obviously, these were 2 very, very tough rushing matchups, so obviously he went under on those ones. But against New Orleans, you won that game. Still 72. Obviously, you'd like to see that higher, but he had 1 out of the past few games that we're really going to look at here, and he's just been destroying this line when he gets the opportunities. I think he's going to continue to get the opportunities. Like, you go to games where he's had rushing attempts, because he's going to crush this rushing attempt. Let's just say 15 rush attempts, right? In games where he's had 15 or more rush attempts, he's hit this in 5 of 9 games, right? You go even more than that. You take this one step further, go to 16 rush attempts. It's even better. So he's going to continue to crush. Like, he takes 16 rush attempts. That's like -250 right now for him to get 16 rush attempts. and he's crushed this line in 5 to 7 games. I think he's easily going to see 16 rush attempts and easily going to go over this mark versus this Dallas defense when the Panthers should be up. So, yeah, I really like this spot for Chuba Hubbard. Heading to our next play, we're still going to be staying in this game. I know we're taking more of the Panthers offense. I know it's sketchy, but we're going to take Adam Thielen over 49.5 receiving yards, as well as I like his longest reception at 19.5. I like both of these lines. I'm taking both of them. And you're probably like, why the fuck are you investing in this old man? Well, he's been clearly the Bryce's go-to guy so far. He's obviously smashed us in 3 of the last 5 games, 64 receiving yards in average. But since returning from the injured reserve in Week 12, Adam Thielen has been targeted on 27.2% of his routes. That is with a 12% deep route rate, right? So that's very, very high. He's also recorded 50-plus receiving yards over expected since Week 12, which, again, very, very high for Adam Thielen's regular. He's also seen 10, 11 targets in the last 2 games and catching 9 and 8 of them, obviously soaring over this mark. And his Dallas defense gives up the 11th most receptions to opposing wide receivers while giving up the 15th most receiving yards. And Dallas gives up the 4th most longest receptions. So, again, the 4th most explosive receiving plays. And with Adam Thielen getting targeted the most deep on this Carolina team, I expect him to catch a big one, especially with Jalen Cooker maybe coming back. I think that takes some pressure off Adam Thielen, as Jalen Cooker is shown to be a very promising rookie. If he plays, I think this takes pressure off Adam Thielen. It gets him a little bit less volume, but I think they're more quality targets, and I think that's what you really look for when you're looking for a guy like Adam Thielen. I think he's going to catch another big one. Anytime it's 4th and long, you know who we're going to, Adam Thielen. Dallas also gives up the 5th most yak to opposing wide receivers this season, which I think is important to note, as Adam's not the best yards after catch guy, but he definitely does make some plays, and I think that can definitely factor into this line. So I do like both of these spots in this game. You're probably like, well, how can these 2 things be true? Well, you can easily have these 2 things be true. They've done it all season. Chuba's been crushing it. Thielen's been crushing it. I think they both continue to run. And I think the Carolina offense will just have a lot of time and possession in this game comparatively to Dallas. Heading into our next play, we have Buffalo and Detroit. You know where we're going. The absolute wagon, the best play you could possibly take, 16.5 longest rush. I had to take it. I haven't even taken this yet because the odds are so wonky on Pickett. But make sure if you're not following on Pickett, you get on Pickett, use code BDG. It's absolutely free when you sign up. You can tail all of my picks. You can tail all of Nick's picks. You can tail all the boys that are here. You can tail all of our picks. Remember, I just hit a $1,700 slip on Nick's account this weekend, which was crazy. So make sure, again, you're following on Pickett, all of our accounts, so you can see all these sort of plays. Obviously, I cashed out on Sunday, big time for you guys with Ja'Marr Chase, 2 touchdowns. We cashed out a bunch of stuff. On Thursday, we had another massive day. And again, George Kittle catches out on the very first catch for his longest reception as well. So we want to make sure we're taking advantage and getting these numbers. Obviously, Kyron had a big day as well, but we want to make sure we're cashing out. So the best way to tail is on. You also can see how many units I put on stuff, which I think is really huge when you're comparing just like, hey, he's placing this bet, but how much is he placing on it? You can see I'm pretty easily on Pickett. So again, make sure you take advantage, lock in, and get on Pickett for free. Use code BDGE when you sign up. No easier way than that. And again, Jahmyr Gibbs, longest rush, absolutely been crushing this line. This Buffalo team allows the most explosive runs to any running backs, to all the running backs in the NFL. So again, when Buffalo faces running backs, they allow the most explosive runs so far this season. Now, again, Jahmyr Gibbs has been an explosive run machine. When you put it at 16.5 on underdog, you can really only get it at 16.5 on underdog. I just want to make sure that's clear. I've looked everywhere. Underdog is the only place that has it at 16.5. So make sure you take advantage and get it there. 17.5 is not even available. I know it says it on the screen, but it's not available. I've been looking. So I'm trying to get it at 17.5 for good odds. BetMGM is so back and forth. I just have to get it at the right time. And I missed that time earlier today, but I'm going to try to get it later in the day. But he's hit this in 11 of 13 games this season. In wins, he's hit this in 10 of 12. He's just absolutely smashing this. Like, how can you not take this play against a very susceptible defense with the most explosive runner in the NFL? Outside of, I'm going to be honest, the only one that's probably the 2 better ones right now, explosive run-wise, are going to be Bucky Irving. Crazy, I know I said it, but Bucky Irving is definitely up there, and Saquon Barkley. Obviously, those 2 have been breaking off big runs every single game, but Jahmyr Gibbs is right there with both of them in making a big plays happen out of nothing. So you like to take him with those 2 guys, and Jahmyr Gibbs, again, been crushing this line, had 17-plus longest rush in damn near every single game this season. I think that's going to continue here in this one. And our last play for the main slate is going to be going back to the Bo Nix wagon. Bo Nix over 236.5 passing yards. I absolutely love this mark for Bo Nix. He's obviously been crushing this line this season. I hit this in 3 of the last 5 games, while averaging 263 yards in the last 5 games. Now it's a great matchup versus the Colts, who allow the 8th most passing yards to opposing quarterbacks. They give up an average of 247 pass yards per game. And Bo's averaging 260 pass yards when he's playing at home, and the Colts are giving up 217 passing yards when they're away. I think he should soar over this mark pretty easily. The Colts also give up 7 yards per dropback, making them the 5th worst at stopping the quarterback when in simple dropback passes. Bo Nix also has improvised down the field with 10-plus air yard throws. His production since week 5, recording 11.3 yards per attempt. That's the 11th most in the entire NFL, and a 109.7 passer rating. That's the 8th highest over that span. So he's absolutely crushing this mark. The Colts have allowed the 4th highest completion percentage down the field passes and the 3rd most yards per attempt. They also allow a ton of cover. They also use a ton of cover 3 at the 2nd highest rate this season. And so far, he's crushed cover 3, having the 8th most yards per attempt against that coverage. So again, Bo Nix is a perfect matchup. Everything on paper, all the numbers show it. This should be a sneaky shootout of a game, I think. I think the Colts and Denver game could get pretty high scoring. So I like Bo Nix to kind of lead the pack there. And he's been a guy that's respected the coin for us and really done well. So I expect him to keep crushing it in this game against Indianapolis in Denver. So it should be a lot of fun to watch. But those are my plays I have for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that sort of fun shit down below. Make sure to use code BDGE when you sign up on Pickett and Underdog. And if you're wondering what that site was I was using for my research, props.cash, it's one of them. You can use code GUT25% to get 25% off your first month. It is pay for the service, so you do have to deal with that. But if you want to get that, you can. Outside of that, make sure to like, subscribe, all that sort of fun shit down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.